Hi everyone, Christina here, and I just want to briefly show you how to enter in your activities for GradMap. So the first thing I'm going to do is go over to the Activities tab, and you'll see that I've added in a few of these quick examples just to show you different things that you can add in for your extracurriculars, work experience. And so these are just some examples that I've came up with. So you'll notice that when you go to put in a work experience or volunteering, it's going to ask you to briefly describe the company or organization you volunteered for. You don't necessarily have to make this a long kind of description. We mainly just need to give them enough for UC to understand where you worked and also, what that organization or company aims to do. And so you'll see that I have a brief description in here talking about my location where I worked and also who they aim to serve and what they're all about. I also have my hours and different times per week when I was working to show how much of an impact it had on my schedule. And then you'll notice these two descriptions below. So the first one is for your Common App. It's 150 characters. So we want to keep this one more so in a listing or phrasing format. We also want to make sure that we're quantifying whenever possible. So if you were selected out of one of 100 applicants, or like my example here, my example student had to learn 30 plus supplements. So we want to really show, quantification whenever we can, because that shows impact. 30 supplements is a lot. And so, that tells me that student had to memorize a lot and that they also had, not such an easy task on hand. And so you'll notice that for the Common App, it's more so in that kind of listing format. But for UC, they want a little bit of a longer description. And we can give them that, writing in complete sentences, phrasing. We can do a myriad of different formats. UC really wants to see what you've done. They also want to kind of know a little bit more about your leadership or maybe different things that you've demonstrated in that role. And so we can kind of give them that information in a variety of different formats, so long as we remain within our 350 character count. And so that's kind of how to enter in a work experience. You'll see here that, you have your hours and everything like that for the Common App. You can select if you want it on your Common App or your UC account. And so now I'm going to show you just a standard extracurricular activity from just an example that I came up with. So I have Nighthawk ambassadors. You can see again, I'm quantifying here, selected as one of 20. Also too, I'm kind of adding a little bit more in my UC description, talking about all of my roles and responsibilities. So again, that's exactly how you're going to pop in an extracurricular. You can designate the category and then make sure you tell for the Common App the activity type. You can also put a variety of different things in here. There's a pretty long list, so just make sure you click the one that's the most applicable to you and your role. And the last thing I want to show is more so volunteering. So this is another example student to kind of just show you guys how to write this. So again, you're going to see that organization description for volunteering. In my example, I kept it brief. Local nonprofit aimed at providing food and resources to the unhoused community. Then you can see again, my Common App description is more so in that listing format. I'm keeping it a little bit shorter and then going into that longer phrasing format for UC. And so that is how to enter in your activity descriptions. You'll notice that when they are all folded, you can begin to move them around and organize them. So the Common Application, they want them ranked in order of importance to you. And same with the UC app, although it's more stated on the Common App. So we can then, once we have all of your activities in, we can start to drag and drop them around and really organize them in order of importance, and your counselor can also help you with that. So that is how to add in your activities, and thank you so much.